Tyson's just day-to-day, and then Anton had an excused personal absence.
Okay. And Tyson, as far as the injury, it is just day-to-day?
Yeah, just day-to-day.
What did you want to get out of today's practice?
Alignment, assignment, getting our cleats in the ground when we have a call on both sides of the ball. Fundamentals. We did a 40-play alignment assignment period of just getting the call, getting our cleats in the ground, making loud guttural communication, getting the calls in quickly. That was what we were really kind of focusing on from an emphasis standpoint. Obviously, some of these guys are going to be a little bit sore that played a lot of snaps in the game, so we were trying to really hone in on the mind, got conditioning out of it kind of as well. So that was kind of the thought of today.
Obviously, you'll know more next time you guys play against the Saints, but do you feel like guys have kind of taken it to heart and realized those penalty issues that, hey, this is something we need to clean up right now?
I'd hope so. Ultimately, we're not playing the game as coaches, so we can only say so much. At some point, the players, they do need to take the ownership being out there, and so much of what we talked about is until we kind of don't beat ourselves, then we're not going to probably be able to consistently beat anybody.
And then when you went back to the film, just what were your impressions of Tootin, seeing him in a live setting for real?
Yeah, I thought he ran it pretty well, actually. I thought from a physicality standpoint, if you're going to take the positive from the other night, was on both sides of the ball was physical. We stopped the run and we ran it okay, but we ran it when we kind of needed to and became a little bit more of a throw game. But I thought he did some nice things. He was able to make some guys miss in the hole. He ran hard. He had good ball security, so I was pleased with Tootin.
When you look back at Trevor, what'd you think?
Yeah, it was solid. He went out and did his job. The one to BT was something that was kind of a scheme error in a way. He could maybe see that safety and move on and progress. Don't force it in there, but that was also a crappy play call. So I'll take some of that one. But I thought he operated well. We didn't ask him to go and do too much, but it was just solid from an operations standpoint for sure.
You talk about the defense after the game, just in terms of what you saw in film. How do you feel about it now?
Yeah, it was disappointing to see some of the communication errors that we did have, but also just, alignment, assignment issues. We have new systems on both sides of the ball. It's going to probably take a little bit more than a preseason game to maybe correct some of the things that we wanted to get corrected and play as sound as we would like to play. But I was proud of a couple moments, specifically the 4th down stop when we score a couple plays later on, which was a huge play in the game. And then at the end of the game, when you needed to get a stop in 4 minutes, they stopped the run 3 times in a row, force a punt, and give us a chance to go win the game. So when it mattered, there was some nice plays, some good effort all around, but we need to get some of that stuff fixed.
And then just seeing Travis Hunter, what he was able to do, what did you get out of that?
Yeah, I think couple of his just route technique we got to work on, continue to work on it. But I thought he made the right decisions. His alignment assignment was all proper and clean. Defensively, just got to clean up a few things from an alignment standpoint and just staying in the run, in the fit a little bit tighter on that one run that got out. But that's practice and repetition.
Coach, do you want to see the starters a little deeper this week? Too early to tell? What's your practice schedule?
Too early to tell. Yeah, we got pads on tomorrow. We'll have another scrimmage, if you will, on Thursday, I believe, where we'll be able to kind of get after it a little bit more, see, and maybe make a decision after that.
And that'll be padded.
That's right, yes.
As far as BT goes, I know today was a bit of a frustrating day, or at least it looked like it. He's had a couple of those. What do you say to him? What do you see from him, both in drills and then off the ball?
Yeah, there's not much, I try not to, he's pretty hard on himself in ways, so I try not to pile on in those moments, and sometimes it's better to let him be, and sometimes you got, go and, love him up, but, I think something that's kind of been consistent is, when the lights come on, he does show up, and that's something that I do enjoy about players, that it is different in the game, but things we've mentioned to him is he's not going to surprise anybody this year. But, he took the league by storm in a lot of ways last year and balled out. But people are going to have more of a plan, doubles, cloud coverages, different things. So just continuing to work on taking your game to the next level.
Have you had players like that in the past where the lights come on, maybe in practice it's not showing for whatever the reason, but the games happen? And
nobody that really sticks out, but yes, to answer your question, yes, you've definitely seen it. I think this may be a little bit just my first time with it at the NFL level, maybe in a little ways, but I still have a lot of confidence in him. I mean, I firmly believe that when it's really rolling and he's going, I have a lot of confidence in BT.
And his relationship with Trevor, the connection, how would you evaluate that at this point?
I mean, I think he doesn't stop throwing to him, and they continue to work at it, and there's no angst or ill feelings. It's just man, play the next play, move on, and keep rolling.
What have you seen out of Christian Braswell? What kind of opportunity can this be for him, just with a couple other corners kind of banged up?
Yeah, I mean, Braz has done everything we've asked him from the beginning. He works his tail off. He's quick twitch. He's strong. He filled the run nicely the other night. I think he has an opportunity to continue to take advantage of those ops. And, he's a smart player. He understands, maybe where his strengths and weaknesses are, and needs to continue to do good things on special teams as well to continue to try to make this team.
And then after seeing Dennis Gardeck working to the side, as long as he has to get back, how was it seeing him today, really kind of get immersed in things?
It's great. He's got a great energy, and like I've said before, I really have always respected his game and the way that he approaches things. And so hopefully he can continue to get more and more comfortable to get to a position where, we can get him out on the grass.
With the injuries to Buster and Tyson, does that change anything about how you guys use Travis or the plan for him?
No, we'll continue to do kind of what we've been doing out here, where it's offense, defense, getting reps on both sides of the ball throughout the course of practice. And maybe I think he's going to be primarily more on defense tomorrow and subbing in a little bit on offense. And then Thursday in the scrimmage, he'll do both as well again.
Ian, do you let the 170-yard field goal move your range back for him at all, or no? I mean, it's hard not to, right? I'm assuming.
It's hard not to. I think Trevor kind of summed it up well, where it's I don't know if we're going to be going for 70-yarders in the first and second quarter of the game, but maybe the kick line to gain is maybe a little bit moved back for us in some ways, but it was such a cool moment, obviously, as we've talked about, and to have the ability to do it, whether it's end of half, end of game, critical moments, we need points. You feel like you got a weapon to go and give yourselves a chance.
Does that affect your play calling at all to have a kicker like that?
Yeah, it's an interesting study because, we've talked about the analytics behind, obviously, the fourth downs and being aggressive, while also having a guy that can make kicks from that range, and then also having a punter who can put the ball in multiple spots. So those are some decisions that we're going to have to make as a staff and to work through some of those dynamics, because you'd love to be aggressive, especially on the plus side of the 50, to go for it and continue to keep your offense on the grass, and then you got a guy that can kick it from 70, and you got a punter that can pin it. So we'll have to make some decisions when the time comes.
I know Eric was working off to the side, inside. Do you have any update on him, and can you evaluate the interior defensive line from Saturday?
No update right now on Eric. The interior D-line, I thought, played fairly well the other night, especially against the run. From a pass rush standpoint, we weren't doing much, from schematically. We were just four-man rush, I would say 85% of the time. So you're not going to probably see a ton when you're not there's no stunts, there's really no pressures, there's not a lot of movement going on to help them get moving, right? But I thought they played the run nicely at times. There's definitely some things to clean up, but I was pleased with their run defense.
First time head coach, are you at the 53 where you thought you would be during this particular process, or are there still some surprises and maybe more competition for open spots?
Yeah, I think the games always help you a little bit just to see, okay, if there's guys that really stand out and shine in the game atmosphere that don't maybe get a ton of ops in practice. I don't necessarily feel like anything changed from the game from last week to now, but we still have 2 more opportunities to do so. So, yeah, I think you feel pretty confident about maybe 50 or so, and then there's a couple spots here and there that you feel like are going to probably go a couple more weeks.
Wyatt seems to have that versatility characteristic that you really like. Plug and play him. What are you seeing out of him?
Yeah, he definitely showed that. Be able to go from tackle to tackle, go into guard. You know, he had the one jailbreak screen where he took the guy to the sidelines, which was cool to see. And he's displayed some of that physicality, toughness, finish throughout the course of training camp. You know, really pleased with his maturation and his style of play. So definitely somebody that's going to continue to earn more reps.
Biggest person in Jacksonville FLA on a Saturday night. Just describe, I mean, you know, Liam was just talking about the interesting decision that you have when you have a punter who can pin it inside the 5-yard line, but then also a kicker who can obviously kick from 70.
That was a special moment. I mean, I think the group, you know, not only the specialist realized how cool that was, but you saw the team just get behind Cam, and they realized how talented he is and the type of person he is. So they love him to death, and you could just see the excitement not only for the team, but for him and our group. So pretty cool moment. Obviously, it's preseason. You know, we understand that, but it was so cool to be a part of that. And again, because he's so talented, because the operation is so great, you feel comfortable sending him out there in those kind of unique positions of like that.
So in your opinion, that's now the record in the NFL, or are you saying it's preseason? It's
preseason. You know, it's really cool, but regular season would be even better. So you know, that's the goal, but regular season is a little bit different. So. But it was really a cool moment for us.
Heath, from all aspects, from Cam to Logan to coverage to the returners, you know, this unit has been operating at a pretty high efficiency for as long as those specialists have been together. What kind of comfort does that give the offensive and defensive coaches knowing that kind of production is going to exist in the special teams?
I mean, hopefully it does. I mean, I think that's part of it. So, you know, 3 phases of the game. How can we kind of work hand in hand to help each other? You know, hopefully we can pin them deep, you know, in our coverage groups, whether it's kickoff or punt, and make teams go 80 plus, you know, 90 yards against our defense. And then offensively, hopefully we can shorten some fields and, you know, you get in that fringe area where it's, you know, 40-yard line. Is it a go for it? Is it a, you know, a punt situation? You know, you can kick some of those longer kicks, obviously, with our kicker, but our punter's really good as well. So he's you know, the best in the NFL and, you know, inside the 10, and so he's as talented as anybody. So we're very fortunate.
And coaches love it when you have options. I mean, your 2 kickers give Liam options, don't they?
Yeah, they're the best in the game, and throw Ross in there, was a 2-time Pro Bowler. So we're among some really good players, and you know, they work every day, and that's the cool thing is you see them every day, the way they work, the way they prepare. They want to be great every single day, and it shows up come game days in the stadium.
As far as coverage goes, behind DT at gunner, who have you kind of see emerge?
Well, Antonio Johnson's obviously been a core guy for us. Antonio's been fantastic in all phases, really, not just gunner. He's a stud. But, you know, we have some young players done really well. I mean, I think that was a good display, what Rayon Lane did in the game. I mean, that's something we've seen all training camp, and it didn't surprise me he was going to show up as a gunner outside. We have such good competition outside. Chandler Brayboy has done a good job as well. So there's a bunch of good players mixed between our veteran core guys that have been really studs for us to these young players that are super competitive, that are looking for a job. So it's going to come down, you know, we got 2 more preseason games of evals as well as out here at practice. That's going to be so important.
Does Cam approach the game or his craft a little bit maybe mature beyond his years for just a second-year guy?
Yeah, and you well said. Is he's not a rookie, and he wasn't even last year. There was times when I had to kind of remind myself of, don't forget this guy is a rookie. I don't you know, because I kind of took it for granted at times of all those little things that he had never seen or never done. But I think it's a big part of those two leaders that are next to him. Those guys just lead him big time. They're his big brother. I mean, they just look after him. They pick on him like a little brother, but they also take him under their wing, and they just been great leadership for him. And but yeah, he's so mature.
So what is the areas that he gets better? I mean, I would assume if you're just in your second year that there's still a lot more room for growth with this kid.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always room for growth. I mean, I think start with kickoffs. We were trying to hang up some kicks in the game, and he's sometimes he put them too deep. He's kicking long field goals, he's kicking long kickoffs. So those are some of the things we work on, and there's always room for how can we be more efficient. We got to get the operation time down. Stuff like that. All those things. We're always working. There's never a time when we're celebrating, that field goal, but there's definitely we got to get better.
Heath, what does the Kball rule change do for specialists, and what, not to take away from a 70-yard field goal still, but does that help specialists out to have it all week long and get it ready, or how different is it?
I think it's going to give the equipment guys more, more time on game day. The equipment guy, Colin, he's working his butt off every day. The past few years of making sure that ball in that allowed time to get ready. Well, now he has time to do it. As far as the ball, it's the exact same ball. They're having him prepare it just like it was before. There's no difference in that. That's not why he made 70. He's been making 70s in practice and last season. So it's not that's not why.
I was just curious.
Yep.
Back to coverage, Liam specifically mentioned Christian Braswell and the opportunity he has in front of him, and then Danny Strigow, I know, was a guy who got in pretty early on coverage unit too on Saturday.
Yeah, both those guys done really, really well. Braswell, I thought, did a good job at corner. He had some gunner reps. I mean, he's done a good job. Obviously with the opportunities to take advantage of, but he's done that since he's been here. He's done a good job, and I saw him this morning and said, told him how well he played. So he's done well. But there's a bunch of guys. Danny did really well. Jack Kaiser's done a good job. So we've got good young players that are mixing with our veteran players. That are all competing for a tough roster to make.
I know he's been off to the side for the most part, healing up from his injury, but getting Dennis Gardeck, how much does that excite you? And see a guy that just as a coordinator, around the league is just one of those dudes as a special teams player. Yeah,
I've been watching Dennis for a ton of years. He shows up every time he turns his tape on. He can take over games. I don't know if I had more special teams coaches text me after we signed him than any other time. He's a guy that's been a marquee player, and I see why he's so good. The way he prepares, just communicating with them. He's very, very smart and detailed. We're kind of bringing him in slowly, but he's in the meeting rooms. He does everything you ask, and comes for extra meetings and all the extra stuff. So you see why he's been a talented player, a force in all phases.
You're always active during practice, like not just during the special teams period. You're helping out with offense, you're helping out with defense. Is that something you're asked to do, or is that just you trying to, help out?
I think it's a little both. I think new staff came in. Liam asked, if I'd run the whistle for him, and so it's a little bit of that. In the past, I've helped Rich Angula with tight ends. Rich was a teammate of mine back with the Minnesota Vikings, 15, 20 years ago, so a longtime friend of mine. So I've always, enjoyed it, and I can't sit around on the sidelines and just watch practice. I got too much energy, so I just run around as best I can. So a lot of it's just voluntary.
Feel great.
Did you feel like you got enough working? I know it was only.
I definitely didn't feel like I got enough win. I only had like 7 plays. Kind of got warmed up a little bit, but like I said, it felt good to be back out there.
Now that you're into your 4th year, how important is the preseason for you? Just getting ready for week 1.
Me personally, I take the preseason serious, just like going into any other game, because obviously I don't want to come into the season slow stepping, so I'm going to treat it as if it's a regular season game, regardless.
One thing we've asked you, what have you seen from some of the younger defensive linemen behind you, Josh, Smoot, Agba?
Man, a lot of those guys, they come in, work hard every day. They get their extreme, high-energy players, and I feel like just being in the NFL, playing with high energy is going to take you a long way, especially when it comes to rushing and stopping the run as well.
How do you feel like your command of the defense, or at least from your perspective, has grown over the last few weeks in training camp?
Me personally, I still feel like I'm the same person, but as far as like being able to dissect the playbook, our plays and things of that nature, I feel like now I've got a real good feel on the plays, and I'm playing a lot faster, just going out there playing free when guys come up to me, ask me questions about certain plays, and I have the answer for them.
How do you go about establishing a defensive identity? Like, what does that take?
Takes us just coming in, being ourselves every day, being true to ourselves. As far as we obviously know it's a physical sport. We all want to come up here and be physical, but at the end of the day, it's either you're going to win or you're going to lose, and don't nobody want to lose. So coming in with that mindset, I feel like as far as with our defensive perspective, we want to be physical, we want to stop the run, and that's our main focus first.
What was it like seeing that Cam Little 70-yarder?
Man, that was something special. It would have been a record in the NFL, in the regular season, but obviously we all knew Cam had it in him, and just to see it in person, it was great to see.
Liam said the focus of today's practice, assignment, alignment, coming out of Saturday. How would you evaluate, for the first time, this group under Coach Cam, how would you evaluate the execution, let's say, during the 7 or so plays you run the field?
Speaking on that first drive specifically, that definitely caught us with some tempo, so I feel like that's where that came into practice, to play at practice today. I feel like we did a great job at practice today, and we watched the film earlier, so I feel like now we just have to continuously get on the ball, be ready, and be set. That way we don't get caught off guard like that.
Having guys like Emmanuel, Agba, Dewan, behind you and Josh this year, just how much could having that more depth at defensive end kind of help you personally?
Man, it really helped us out. Just that way it's no drop off. I feel like both of those guys are great players, great run stoppers, great pass rushers, and I feel like they'll take a lot off once we do maybe need to come out for a play or two just for us to catch our breath and then be able to get back in, or we all in at the same time.
What kind of resources kind of Agba been just for you? The guy's been around.
Man, he's been, like I say, he's like an Eric as well. He's been in the league 10, 11 years. He has a lot of experience, played in a couple different defenses. Obviously, he's played up under Camp before, so he knows the mindset that Camp is bringing, and he helps instill it into me and all of the younger guys as well. Say that again?
What do you think of the field goal?
That was something special to see, man. Like, it's really once in a lifetime. You really don't get to see that much. Hats off to Cam. He's a great kicker. He's doing a great job. Just keep his head down, keep going.
Do you guys pay attention to him at all, like out here when he's banging, like just messing around and he's nailing?
Yeah, most definitely. We don't see him a lot, but like when we go to field goal, we know he can kick 50-yarders easy. We see that every now and then, but he's a great kicker. He works his ass off.
Do you feel like you need to play more in the second game, and then because there's a joint practice for the third preseason game, do you say, okay, maybe we back off that one, or kind of where is your head at in terms of how many reps you need in these next 2 games?
Me personally, it's not about the reps I would want to say. I'll just say whatever the coach wants us to do, that's the type of player I am. The coach wants me out there this many plays, that's how many plays I'm going to be out there. If he don't want me out there playing that game, then so what?